Jeez, I don't. Where's Jay? Oh, I gotta get. Don't say it because I don't got the button. Okay, I'm ready.
Ready for what?
I got the button.
What button?
What button?
You know
My
that,
button.
that
You're
button.
gonna touch. You're gonna touch my belly button, Tin. Go ahead. Let's do this.
And welcome back to Tin TV Sunday Live.
Stephanie.
Definitely, we got Kink Master Jefferson in the
I
house.
love that name.
and Kink Master. Howdy, belly buttons suck. You're right.
Oh yeah, I got an innie. Do you guys?
The Audis are weird.
Yeah, they're kind of like kind of weird.
How's everybody's Sundays going? Mine was nice up here in the Pacific Northwest. We were a balmy 60 degrees and sunny with a little bit of stratospheric aerosol spraying because, you know, they got to cover my sun in the evenings. Yep.
Nice here today.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Perfect day.
And you're both in Kentucky. And Pootie, how was Missouri?
It was nice, but it was windy as crap.
Oh. Count Yorga, how's that all the way on the East Coast there?
I have not looked outside all day.
He is a vampire.
Fire.
Yeah, that shit will kill me.
We'll ask him about the night. How was the night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks for asking, Tin. It's
Yeah,
93 degrees and sunny with no chemtrails. Nice blue skies.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a little hazy right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen them
I haven't
in a
either.
long
It's almost
time.
like the-
man. What's
like
up
the-
with that?
The
They're all
funding has been cut. It's
No,
almost
they're
like
all they're all up here, you guys, in the Pacific Northwest. Trust
well,
me.
they can't
Just
afford it
keep 'em
here.
up there.
It's all
Just
over with here.
keep 'em
It's
there.
they're hiding something. Hiding something.
You're too close to Canada. Keep it up there.
There you go.
Something's
Absolutely
out
gorgeous where I am in parts
I
unknown.
haven't seen them things. And you know, you guys, I didn't believe in that shit until I started talking to you guys. And I started believing in that shit.
Wow.
And I haven't seen any of them in a long time.
We
Steph,
saved you, you jackass. We've been telling you about it. Wait till
I wasn't
I can't wait till you get on
I'm with you.
It's the
with the
same thing as the
moon. I'm
moon
talking
landing.
the
Come
moon
on.
landing, Yorga. I'm waiting. Tang.
Dad,
Yes,
that's
the
like
moon landing.
Crazy Cajun.
Did you call me a jackass?
No, I love you.
I love you
What?
too, but I am a jackass, so it's okay.
Just about the moon landing.
No, we went to the moon. I'm telling you, don't get me started on this shit. We went to the moon.
It's not real.
No.
Yes, it is.
Then why is there all this fake shit out there?
Because we went to the moon.
Oh.
Can I ask
Oh.
you something, Yorga? If we
Yes.
can't get our cell phones to work down here, how were they able to talk to them on the moon when they can't get stuff to work down here?
Because technology, baby.
and B Charming wants to know where did all the drones go? Were there? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went
They
to
were
the moon.
everywhere.
No, they traced them back. They went to the Boeing building. They landed at the Boeing building. That's where they landed.
Which Boeing building in my state? Or the
You know,
one?
in New
No,
Jersey.
they went to
I think it
the
was in New
moon, the
Jersey.
Boeing building on the moon, and that's where they went, lady. And don't even try to contradict me, will you?
I think you're right. There's probably a
I
Boeing.
know I'm right. Don't try to chaopectate my ass right now.
Oh, I love
I know.
K-Pectate.
Oh, I grew up in a Boeing community in
I
Seattle.
haven't even
That's
heard of
what
Yeah,
Kid
boing.
Picnic in a long time.
it
I'm
was.
just talking
All,
about
I
New
think
Jersey.
flamingo.
Yeah.
it was all airline industries in the 70s and 80s, and then Nintendo and Microsoft moved in.
It went from aerospace to Nintendo.
Mm.
Jeff B says the drones are ours.
Yeah, we
I
haven't
believe
heard
it.
about them.
Of course
Well,
they're
that's a nicer way to say what Jeff B said.
Yeah, who you calling
What
the
do you
clown,
say?
Jeff B?
Told you 7 o'clock. You forgot that part, dick gal.
I like the way she said it better.
What would we
Yeah.
do without Jeff B? You gotta hand it to him, man. The guy's great. I love Jeff.
In his
The
chair.
ultimate troll.
He is.
Buddy.
Look at. He's saying that I stole from the dollar. No, it was the $1.25 store, and I just borrowed the tongs from the kitchen section. I wanted
What?
She stole them.
Yeah, I was on Cola's Live and I was shopping and I wanted these drink boxes up on the top. So I said, watch everybody what short people do. You go to the kitchen section, grab a pair of tongs, and yeah, the tongs just gave me just enough more, length to grab them. Yeah.
Then why does all the fucking short ladies always ask me?
We
you
always
grab their
thought
shit?
that there was nobody tall around.
You're a freaking shoplifter, Keenan. You know it.
Yeah, you stole.
Yeah.
You
I
stole.
stole
Are you
from
wearing them?
no,
Are you wearing them? You
Oh.
thong? You stole the thong?
no, I didn't
So,
steal anything from
I need to
you.
write an album about that.
Stealing a thong.
MTV. I stole from the dollar store.
She got a
Well,
thong. Thong.
Everybody's shopping at the dollar store is what's really sad. You can't even afford Walmart.
Guys,
Yeah,
stop.
see, look,
Oh,
Did you click them
And
before you got?
everything's like $2.50.
yeah, look at the tongs. See the kitchen tongs that Craig's got to get.
oh,
those are
tongs.
shorties.
I thought you were
Those are
saying
shorties.
thong.
Oh, those are the homo kind.
Hey, those will work too.
Hmm.
So we should say
Oh,
hello to some of
now
the people
it's
in our
working.
audience because it looks like we got
Well, I think you can order them big, long ones like that pick shit up off the ground.
the grabbers. They
Like old
didn't
people
have.
have.
They didn't
Oh, I
have.
got those. I use them at work.
Yeah,
Pick
I
up
got.
garbage.
I got a pair here too, but they didn't have those in the dollar store that day. That's why I went.
Well, bring your own fucking thong next time.
You never
No
know when you're gonna
tongs.
find a Coney Island
That's what he said.
whitefish on the ground. You gotta throw it.
Let's say hello to people in the audience because it looks like we've got 161 people in here right now.
Don't say how many.
All right, Jeff B.
Jeff,
What do
good
you
to
think
see you.
Hmm.
Lisa Story.
Beach Heart.
Regina.
Doc P. Hick y'all.
I actually have a story.
Pink Flamingo.
Hi, Sissy K.
Mary Freeland.
Lisa
Hey,
Ann.
Sandy.
Clay B.
Lessa.
Joe
Oh,
Dodge.
Mary Shea. My favorite, Mary Shea.
Stephanie's out there. We love her.
This is Clay B.
Yeah, we do.
Is
Vicky
Jason?
McNeely.
Where's Jason? I hope he's good tonight.
Oh no, where is Jason?
Yeah.
Hey.
He was on the potty.
Where's 420 Rad? Dragon.
Pink,
Maybe,
pink.
Maybe 420.
Yeah, where's
gonna-
420?
He might.
Oh,
be
we got a
good.
lot watching on X too, by the way.
Great.
Thanks to everybody on X.
Yes, thank you, you guys. Thanks for coming on over. And we think we're the best late night talk show ever, but it's only in our little minds, okay? We already know that. Don't try to diagnose us, okay?
I was gonna say Willard Hall isn't here, but he got here third today. He's stepping
he
back
was-
up to first.
He was the third one.
Hey,
Sharon Mercier, Papa Two Bears, and David Cowboy.
That's true.
David Cowboy.
Oh,
Monograph
Monty's
is on.
still on. Yeah, Monograph's still on. So
Yeah.
that could
Oh
be.
yeah, we love Monograph. Yeah, Monograph's talking about the KFC commercial. Yeah.
KFC.
What happened there? I'm out of it.
They put out this 2-minute video that basically drug a human into a bowl of gravy and deep fried you and came out a chicken wing or bone or whatever. And you're kind of insinuating, it don't look good. Okay. They said that that their signs were going to be their downfall. And we're starting to see all their.
Oh, you mean they're deep frying people?
That's what it looks like, an insinuation. And you know how things are changing where it's right in our face. Like, look at what Lady Gaga did with that. What was it that Lady Gaga just performed on
Lady Gaga?
And yeah, there's just a lot of crazy.
She wore meat once. Remember that? She
Yes.
wore meat.
Yeah, sure do.
And she came in an egg when she was wearing
like a body snatcher.
Yeah, that was too weird. David says tastes like chicken. Yeah, so
that was the good old days.
Over there cracking up.
That was the good old days, Yorga, when I was just worried about body snatchers.
And be a body snatcher.
I remember the good old days when all you had to worry about was Texas chainsaws and body snatchers.
Yeah. I remember those days.
And ice cream man.
You got to worry about zombies.
Yeah, the man in the white van.
Yeah, the man.
That too. Shit. Everybody had the white van. Everybody grew up. Oh, there's a white van across the street. Right? Every time.
Hey, you boys want to earn some extra money? No, sir.
I got some candy.
And not to take candy from a stranger. Do you want some
I've
candy?
got the Smarties, baby.
Oh, and Donna's asking about Addie. She goes in Wednesday, you guys, to have the whole cast taken off and another x-ray. Well, we're just crossing our fingers, so keep praying for her. Still got to go to Seattle and take care of my mom. I'm going to be busy. Oh, speaking of Seattle, you guys, I know I'm just kind of like switching gears here really quick, but you know how the show goes. I want to bring you to Seattle because I know a lot of you don't live up here and you're probably not going to visit. I wouldn't recommend it because we've got another iconic business that's closing up. It's called the Historic Virginia Inn. It's the Shutter Doors, and they've been in business in Seattle, you guys, right across from Pike Street Market for over 120 years. Well,
and that's where they throw the fish, right?
Yeah, right there in the corner, right behind that little
very
van.
famous.
Yeah. Okay, so they're right here on the corner. It's going to show you in here, but Seattle's Architectural and Preservation Society decided that they want to do something to the building, and the new owners of this preservation didn't make a good deal with the owner of the actual establishment, and because he's getting choked out basically by the landowners, because they're saying, well, we want this amount of money, but we want 6% of whatever you take in a year, and they gross $1.2 million in sales, and they want
extortion.
Yeah, it's just another way for them to take some of the oldest parts of our cities and get rid of them and demolish them because they don't want this history in the reset. Okay. We know
new development.
Well, this is right across the street. So if you see where the market is right there, if you were standing there looking towards us,
I don't.
It would be to the right. So let me play this video. And here's a little bit on iconic Seattle here, guys. Just a sec.
Just a plan, baby.
It is known for many things: fishmongers, flowers, and unique vendors. But there's something that came before all of it.
Anyways, glad you're enjoying it, and thanks for coming in. Totally.
Craig Perez is the owner of the Virginia Inn, an iconic business that's been on this corner since 1903.
I'm really sad. This is an institution of Seattle.
It served countless generations of Seattle families and visitors from across the world for over a century, surviving through the Great Depression, COVID, and other events along the way. Until now.
On Thursday, I gave 20 people notice and said we'll be closing on the 27th. A restaurant that's been here 122 years because unable to negotiate a lease with our landlord.
Perez says he received a notice from the Pike Place Market Preservation and Development Authority last month, terminating the lease at the end of April. He says negotiations soured when the PDA wouldn't budge on its required payment. That takes 6% of sales from the restaurant after $1.2 million.
That's not accounting for if wages go up, if there's inflation, that number doesn't move, but it has to move based on inflation, and it won't. And so slowly, we will get squeezed.
It's a shame. I keep saying iconic because it is, and now it's going to be behind us.
Barb Jensen, like many others, has been coming here for decades. She's heartbroken. It'll soon be added to a list of landmark businesses that have closed in Seattle recently.
It's kind of a tasteless choices the city's making. And Seattle used to be pretty damn tasty.
King 5 received a statement from the market saying in part, the PDA has worked diligently with Virginia Inn over the past several months in hopes of finding a path forward. We did not want them to leave the market. The PDA offered numerous opportunities to either negotiate a new lease or sell the business, but Virginia Inn did not pursue either path. And Virginia Inn's final day of service will be on April 27th, and you can read Pike Place Market PDA's full statement on our website, king5.com.
So there you go, you guys, everybody.
Is that a Seattle station?
Yeah, that was local.
I could tell. You know how I could tell?
It's very
No, because they had to say everything 4 fucking times. Okay.
Well, they do that all the time. Everybody.
I'm just telling you. They said every.
So do your Arizona. So do your Arizona ones.
No bullshit. 4 times.
Okay.
Your people need to learn to at least get it in 2. When are they closing? Do you remember?
April 27th.
That's right. Yep. How many years have they been there?
Did you listen?
I sure the hell did. They opened in 1903.
Whoa, stop. What was it? What are those weird symbols on the tree right behind it?
Who knows? It's Seattle.
Is that some kind of KOKK fucking Instagram bullshit?
It's Seattle.
That's what we're saying.
The point is they're taking the most iconic little area and they're trying to erase the history. I can't help it. The people in Seattle are weird.
I had a shady uncle named Larry Schulte that lived there years ago. And he was shady. He put
kind of lived there. You live closer than any of us.
No, I don't kind of live there. I live on the red side. It's a whole nother country on the other side.
Where is Seattle? Is it in Washington?
Where is where you live in Arizona?
Yeah. Yep. I'm in Arizona. Yep. We got horses, hats,
and sand,
4-wheel drives, and camels. Camel toe, that is.
Oh my God.
Where's my ticket? I'm coming in.
There's Larry Schulte.
Okay, sorry, Chan. I apologize. Taco, Jason Smith.
You failed the pop quiz.
Hey, all you cool cats. It's time for Craig the Hunter's news segment.
And now for your 10 TV Mostly True News Report. I am Kurt Cobain with
He's
shotgun.
I was gonna say you're okay. He's dead. I think.
This segment of Mostly True News is sponsored by Count Yorga's Blood Donations. Vampire blood is highly sought after and coveted, and also pays top dollar. So thank you, Count Yorga, for selling your blood so we can continue this beautiful show. Is he there? Is he there?
I think he's there.
And now for the segment we've all been waiting for, the lovely gentleman known as Jeffrey Boy B, who is in the chat, who is always making mischief and causing havoc. Fuck you, Willard. I'm not muted.
Oh, the new word is payoff.
He threw me off. By the way, Willard, you were third place. All right, just want you to know that. You suck at just getting here.
If you ain't first, you're the last. If you ain't first, you're last.
Sorry, Willard. We love you. And now for Breaking Jeff B. Oh, by the way, this was inspired by Cola's better half, The Best Life. So thank you, Bess, for inspiring us for this one. And thank you all. We appreciate you.
That's funny shit.
It wasn't even my idea.
That was great.
What?
It was good, though. All right, and now for comments from last show's chat. Sorry, the volume was a little high. Look, we even got a little chuckle out of Jeff B. He even liked that. I get a little worried when he likes it. Joe Carol Dobbs writes, "Hello, Tin, AJ, AB." I don't know who is. Oh, Agent J. I was like, who the hell's AJ? I forgot about you. AB, Cola, Hitgal, Yorga, Pooty, and where's Craig? Oh, because I was a little late. I know. Great show tonight. Lots of love and blessings to you all. And Shift Kickers family. Prayers for everyone if you need them. Love you all. Thank you. Timothy Loomis writes, "Love you guys. Always watching." Timothy, we're always watching you.
We're always watching. We're always watching you.
That's not smart TV. Rubbernecker writes, "Love, love, love. Heart, you guys rock. My favorite show ever." That's awesome. Thank you. And I really think it's because everybody here, it's a collective. It really is. We all come together and somehow it's beautiful. And I thank you all. BD Golden writes, "Thanks for another show. I just want to comment on the tariffs and bring manufacturing back. If you think of how long it took to get this point, it will probably take much time to get this country back to prosperity." And think about it. They've been just knocking us down for a long time now. She's right. It's not necessarily meant to be immediate for us, but a start for our kids and grandkids. And that's really what it's all about. We're damaged goods. We just need to fix it for the youngers. People need to not think of immediate gratification and get to work getting our country back and keeping it. Heart. Great comment. Love you.
Yes, absolutely.
Wild Edibles writes, "Carbon tax is off our gas. It's dropped in price now. That's good. So they took the carbon tax away, which is baloney.
Mm-hmm.
Mike B writes, watching the replay with an icy cold Dr. Pepper. Awesome show as always. All of you are loved so very much. Keep up the awesome work. Prayers all. God bless. And thank you, Mike B, for that beautiful comment.
Yeah, I just saw an old lady about 106 years old. That's all she drinks is Dr. Pepper. So they
Maybe
take
there's
that.
something to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's drinking Dr. Pepper.
A little preservation. I once says Tin TV, praying hands and heart. Cinders writes, great show. Thank you all. Regular gas is $3.20 in South Florida. Rest in peace, Shift Kicker and Cappy. I think Simon Cappy. Talking about him. Jeffrey Shushard. Jeffrey Shushard. That's a great name. Says they are not full dire wolves. They are liars. So we'll be the judge of that. And we'd like to thank you all for the beautiful comments from the chat. And please remember to go into the comment section after this show has aired and leave us your own little comment that we can read on the show. First in your news. Helicopter crash in South Africa blamed on unsecured penguin.
Unsecured penguin?
An unsecured penguin. The South African Civil Aviation Authority said a low-altitude helicopter crash that didn't result in any injuries was caused by an unusual passenger famous for its lack of flight experience. A penguin. That's right. The SACAA incident report said the pilot and 3 human passengers landed on Bird Island off of the Eastern Cape on January 19th. And a passenger described as a specialist placed the penguin in a cardboard box and brought it aboard the aircraft. The pilot conducted a risk assessment of the flight. However, he omitted including the transportation of a penguin on board.
Really?
The passenger in the front seat of the helicopter held the box containing the penguin on his lap, securing it with his hands. But he lost his grip, you clumsy fool, just after takeoff, and the box slid into the pilot's cyclic pitch control lever. Cyclic pitch control lever. The lever was pushed to the far right position, causing the helicopter to roll to the right and strike the ground with its rudders. There's the little motherfucker right there. The report said the helicopter, which landed on its side, sustained serious damage, but no human or penguin passengers were harmed. Now for another animal story next in the news. Secondly, in your news of mostly trueness, Boris Johnson, the former prime minister of England, gets a surprise peck from an ostrich in Texas. The former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson received a memorable welcome from an ostrich at a state park in Texas when the towering 2-legged bird gave him a peck, according to a video on Sunday. In the video posted by his wife, Carrie Johnson, an ostrich slowly walks towards a car before poking its head through the driver's seat window where Johnson was sitting with his son on his lap. Once in front of Johnson, the bird quickly pecks its beak towards his hand. "Oh, expletive," Johnson yells before driving off in the video. Too funny not to share, Carrie. The ever spot. There they are. Look at the two. You could now wait. Which one's the former prime minister and which one's Boris? They look very similar.
Well, Boris Johnson's name just came out and all that FBI shit too. So
yeah, crossfire hurricane.
Hey, look. Let's not look at that. This is a diversion story, okay, Jay? Let's not focus on the FBI shit. Let's look at the ostrich.
Yeah. I see the one on the right.
Too funny not to share, Carrie Johnson said in the caption on Instagram. It is not clear which wildlife park they were visiting, but others posted on the same account show the family visiting Dinosaur Valley Park, almost 80 miles southwest of Dallas. Boris Johnson, who has served as prime minister from 2019 to 2022, was also spotted with his wife at a local restaurant in Lake. Man, they're telling everybody where he's at. Lake Gadsbury, Texas. It could have been him or it could have been this fucking ostrich. We don't know. And this concludes your 10 TV Mostly True News Report. I am Craig the Hunter. Oh, and tonight's tie is this one. I didn't really even look at it. What is it?
What the hell are those things?
I don't know. It's Picasso. It's Picasso night.
Oh.
It's abstract elephants. Abstract elephants. Take it away.
Cool. To our Middle East correspondent in the Middle East. Take it away. To our...
And now for your Middle East news report with Hit Gal.
Okay, do you have that first video, 10? Look at this. She's on it.
Oh, I love this commercial. Oh.
Managed to get their hands on some
the 1320
audio from a private APEC meeting. Now, APEC, if you've been living under a rock,
but you have Israel. It has so much more influence over countries, by the whole world. Will Saudi Arabia and the UAE even trust him to defend their assets if Iran strikes back? So the United States is in a much more weakened position, but you have Israel with it has so much more influence over this government and over the U.S. government as a whole than it even did after 9/11. Remember, Benjamin Netanyahu testified before the Senate that he was sure that Saddam had WMD. Israel was egging the U.S. on to do that attack as well. So it's really a question of whether Trump and his team just decide to unilaterally attack Iran without the consent of the public. The American public is opposed to this. And they're not just opposed to this. They're deeply suspicious about Israel's role in American society and what Israel is. If you look at this new Pew poll that I'm sure you all have covered, most Americans view Israel negatively for the first time. Overwhelmingly, a majority of Democrats, the boomer Democrats, view Israel more negatively by 15% than they did 2 years ago. And Republicans between 18 and 45, the kind of Republicans who watch this show and who are on social media, now view Israel negatively, 50 to 50. So I don't know what how Trump is even going to sell this to the public. He's not going to go to Congress, and there won't be committee debates. It's just going to be, it would be a disaster, his administration, and it would tank the world economy.
What about Jewish Americans? I saw you posted this. I was laughing because, as someone in the chat says, redacted hates Jews. Max, I believe you're Jewish, right? And I believe you just got an award. And they labeled you a Jew who shouldn't be allowed into Israel, Max Blumenthal. To which you said, "I have finally arrived." So, how are Jewish Americans? Where do they come down in this polling? By the way, do they want a war? Do they want to support Israel in a war in the Middle East?
Well, and I got to jump off after this, but there was a poll earlier last year in the midst of the Gaza genocide on how Jews felt about that. About 35% of American Jews believed Israel was committing genocide in Gaza. That's a stunning number.
Wow.
It was almost a plurality. If you consider that most Jews still identify as Zionist, and if you look at the polling among Jews who are younger, they're edging closer and closer to my position. I'm a trendsetter. And it's because, there are different kinds of Jews. There are Jews who are raised to believe that never again means never again only for us, and that we should be allowed to commit a Holocaust against anyone who threatens us or this self-proclaimed Jewish state. And there are Jews who believe never again means never again to anyone, and that the lesson of the Holocaust is it should not happen to anyone, including Palestinians. And if it's being committed by us, then we have a special obligation to get in the way and stop it. There's the universalist perspective and the segregationist perspective. And more Jews are taking on in the United States, where we're living through a golden age, where we're much safer and prosperous and freer than in the state of Israel, are taking on the universalist perspective. So that's what I was raised on. That's what I believe in. And I believe we're witnessing the Holocaust of our time in Gaza, and that the reputation of Judaism as a faith community is on the line, and that Zionism aims to destroy that reputation in the eyes of the world in order to justify Israel as a sanctuary where all the Jews will have to run after their lives in Europe or the United States were destroyed by anti-Semitism. So Zionism actually aims to make people more anti-Semitic to justify this Spartan little settler colony that it's established, this nuclearized settler colony in the heart of the Middle East. So I think if Jews want to fight anti-Semitism, they have to first confront Zionism.
So there you go. A lot of the Jews are very split, and a lot of them blame this on Netanyahu because they believe the negative outlook from the world is because of the way he has done things and what he's done. The Zionism and Judaism is very different. And by the way, Passover started at sundown last night. And the interesting thing is Thomas Massey was ridiculed, and he's been very, very attacked for sharing this same thing because AIPAC, he shared that AIPAC has every senator and congressperson has an AIPAC person.
Yeah. Do you agree with him?
Do I agree with him on what?
That the Jews need to take care of the Zionist Jews?
Oh, yeah, I think they need to set them in their place.
Problem is they have the Jewish name in front of them. So it's like if it was the same if it was a Catholic church and you didn't agree with it, it would be up to the other Catholics to take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is, much like here, over there, the Zionists are the ones that have the control. And he even said, yeah, the Zionists very much control what's going on here of what people see of the Jews, like in the Hollywood industry and in a lot of government. The Zionists are in control, and they're very much in control over there. and so they're limited in what they can do. A lot of times they're silenced, just like, Thomas Massey has been raising Cain about this. I've been listening to him, and he has told about how AIPAC was an American Zionist organization. They changed the name to try to keep you from knowing that, because people were beginning to discover Zionists were bad people. A lot of them didn't have a good agenda. They didn't care about the little people. And he's taken a lot of heat and a lot of flack for it, because when he started exposing that every congressperson had their own AIPAC person that controlled them, oh, he took a lot of heat for that, because that's not something you were supposed to let out.
Some things you don't talk about.
Right. And
but we're
over
paying
there,
them. We're paying it.
Yeah.
It's our taxes. So you know what? You better fucking talk about it, piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
If you don't expose it, oh no, if you don't expose it and start bringing it out, the first people are always called crazy lunatics. Noah was too, and you just, everybody said Moses was crazy too. And he started saying, well, and 10 times there were 10 plagues, and every time there was a promise, I'm going to let the people go. And then, he'd backtrack. He backtracked until it hit his home, Pharaoh did. Until it hit him personally, He could hide in his ivory, castle and kingdom. And when the plagues hit the little people, it didn't matter. It wasn't until God had to take the plagues into Pharaoh's home. And of course, we're at Passover now, so it's kind of like forefront and at the top of my mind with that.
Yes.
But these people up in the top, they aren't going to care until it hits them personally, until it takes their own down, until they feel the pain that we feel. And I don't care whether that's Democrat or Republican.
So that's
And,
is that where Save the Jews for Last comes?
I don't know, and I don't know what Jews they're talking about. Truly,
that's what I mean. I would assume the Zionist Jews, which are the bad ones, are the ones that are controlling everything.
Right.
The money, the laws, the way things progress. I don't know, but my guess.
And they've infiltrated our heads because they've controlled Hollywood, and look how that, influenced us for years.
Oh yeah.
This map right here, an independent. This kind of tells a little bit about some of what they think. Some people think about the independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as the capital. The significance of that is if they divide the land, it will place the Temple Mount in the new state of Palestine, not in Israel. So that's kind of a problem with some people. It will go back to the green line of the armistice of 1949. The previous border before the 6-Day War. And Israel didn't have control of East Jerusalem. So there's that. And you heard him talking about people coming back to Israel. Well, they've been calling for Aliyah. They're asking more people to come back, and more people, Jewish people, are immigrating back to Israel. There's been an increasing number, and it's kind of like it forces them to deal with matters like education and employment, because they're having all these people back, and a lot of these children haven't been raised in that lifestyle, So it's given them a problem there with doing that.
So the United States is great because you're allowed to practice your religion. I'm allowed to practice my religion. He can practice his religion. She can practice his religion. But over there, it's pretty much one religion.
But remember, I did bring up that they were some of the Zionist Jews were testifying before Congress that they want laws passed that you can't speak against Jewish things, and they're really
Oh, that
pushing
ain't gonna
hard for.
happen. That ain't gonna fucking happen.
And the problem is that if you do that, then that could also hurt the churches because if they say, Jews killed Jesus, then that's going to be a problem there for them. That's the way they view it. So, but over in Israel, they're trying to pass laws that you can't push Christianity or preach in the streets. And it used to
Right.
be very open to that. And they're trying to push that away now. And I think all that is because of all this, there's Zionism and people are starting to see Zionism and that's a bad thing. And so it scares people. I think everybody's just scared. So that's.
Oh, and if I was in Israel, I'd be scared too, man. You don't know when a bomb's coming over your head over there. You have
Right.
no idea. I mean, when the people that went over there went to Intel, they actually, before they got to do anything, they showed them the basement where their locker was, where their gun was, where their vests is, helmets, ammo, everything. Before they even saw anything in the building, the offices or the fabs.
Right.
Crazy.
I mean,
it's a whole
it's a
different
different life. We're not
life.
used to that.
No.
We're very blessed here. We're not used to all that. While we see the bad stuff, and like where Craig lives, they had the strawberry festival, and they had shootings. We are starting to see that. Sometimes I saw a lot of those people saying, "You can't even go out and have a good time with your family." And I hear that strawberry festival raises money for people, for lots of charities, nonprofit. And people are saying you can't even go there and enjoy that because you're
A
scared.
small town. Yeah, really small town. I mean, you wouldn't expect it in that area, but hey, everywhere. It's everywhere.
Just a bunch of people flock to it.
It's just a bad element. It's a very popular. It's a good. I just think it's
family
youths
thing.
come in and they don't settle with the regular way, and they just want to kill each other. It's weird, So.
Well, we let too many people in without knowing our rules. Shouldn't have them can't even read the signs on the road, right? We heard that already. They just, I mean, we're not in Afghanistan. We don't do goats, okay? We don't do it. No. Over there, not here. Unless you're at Yorga's house and you're having a kegger. And he said it only happened once.
He left.
Oh no, we may have dropped.
Oh, where'd Yorga go?
Yeah, he's not here, so you're picking on.
Oh,
there we go.
Is
and it only happened once.
Pootie's still here. Damn it.
And it only happened once. We're not supposed to talk about it. Right, Tin?
Well, thank you, Gal. That was really good. And, yeah.
And do hit the thumbs up, because I do think I see that the thumbs up are not very high.
Please hit the thumbs up. And subscribe. And tell a friend. Who will tell them? No, you can't really tell friends about this, because if you tell friends about this, they're going to think you're crazy.
And they're going to tell somebody else, and then
they're going to tell somebody else.
Before you know it, everybody's going to know, and then it ain't going to be good.
Yeah, everybody knows how crazy.
Or it will be better.
You are.
Everybody's waking up, Jay. Everybody's waking up.
Speaking of crazy, remember we were talking about Picasso, and a lot of us thought that he lived in the 1500s, guys.
1700s, I thought.
Maybe both.
Maybe.
Okay. So we weren't the only ones. That made me feel a lot better.
Oh, well, I didn't even read it, man.
Oh, it says this guy's asking, Picasso died in 1973. Why didn't anyone talk to me about this? I thought this man lived in the 1500s.
Yeah, I thought the 1700s, remember?
And this guy thought the same thing. So we weren't the only one. So I started looking into Picasso, and you guys, Picasso.
Can you believe it?
Picasso was dark. And if you can see now what a lot of us can see, because we know what's going on. Like they're making things very, in your face with their symbolism. Picasso, if you look at it, he was actually one of the first spirit cookers, you guys. And I'm going to show you. Yes.
What,
and
like
I'm
Abramovich?
No way.
yes. So Picasso, I'm going to show you some things on Picasso, and then I'm going to show you some things on Marina. And look at it. They tie in. This is how far back, and it all goes with the arts.
And these are facts, right, Tin?
Yeah, these are facts. This is all stuff about, Picasso and Marina, and this has all been out there before. These are compilations from TikTokers that, they just recently woke up to this last year about Picasso. And we just happened to stumble across it. But yeah, this was kind of an interesting thing here.
A painting could be worth tens of millions of dollars. This isn't just any painting, it's an authentic Picasso captured on film in 1956. Dressed simply in a tank top and shorts.
Okay, but if you guys notice there, look at his studio. Yeah,
dressed simply.
See that studio? Now think about Marina and some of the weird stuff she's done in places, her studios, and had it filmed, like this guy.
In a tank top and shorts, Picasso could easily be mistaken for an ordinary elderly man on the street. Yet as he approaches the easel, his genius is undeniable. Recognized as one of the greatest artistic minds of the 20th century and a pioneer of modern art, Picasso was prolific beyond measure, with an astonishing 37,000 works to his name. In the footage, with only a few strokes on his canvas, a face takes shape. Picasso works with intense focus, completely absorbed in his creation as if the easel were his entire world. At 75,
black.
As if so basically he's doing a ritual. You guys are gonna see now. This was in our face back then and we didn't think nothing of it. But when I show you the Marina stuff, then you're gonna see. But yeah, it's wild here. In fact, let's just cut to the chase and go over to the dirt. Okay, we're dropping the T on old Pablo here. You're not a good man. You're not a good man. Freaky. So here we go.
Another shithead man from history. And on the chopping block today, we have got none other than Pablo Picasso. And I know what you're thinking. That is low-hanging fruit, Kate. And you would be right. But I promise you, whatever you know or think you know about this man, it's... As with all the men featured in this series, Picasso's genius is hardly called into question here. He was and remains one of the most influential figures in the whole of art history, not to mention one of the most expensive. His painting La Femme d'Alger sold in 2015 for $179.4 million. So you don't get many of them to the pound, do you? But what was he like to live with? Well, according to almost every source available on the subject, absolutely fucking diabolical. According to a 2001 memoir by his granddaughter Marina, Picasso needed blood to sign each of his paintings. He needed my father's, my brother's, my mother's, my grandmother's, and mine. He needed the blood of those who loved him. And as you might imagine, this story is going to get pretty dark. We're going to be covering themes of domestic abuse, sexual abuse, and suicide. And that's just a start. Picasso once told one of his muses and long-term mistresses, Francoise Gillotte, that women were machines made for suffering. And for him, there were only two types of women, goddesses and doormats. It has been suggested by many Picasso biographers that his fucked up attitude to women in relationships stems from childhood. Picasso was born in Malaga in Spain, and his dad was an artist too. And his dad was a notorious womanizer. In fact, he used to frequent the local brothel regularly. It was almost certainly here, around about 13 or 14, that Picasso lost his virginity, setting up a lifelong attitude of viewing sex purely as transactional. Just as a very quick aside, one of the most surprising things I learned whilst researching this is that Picasso was only 5'4". Now, I don't place a lot of stock by height, men do. Maybe that had something to do with this too. His first big love is this woman, Fernande Olivia, who he meets in 1904. Things become very intense very quickly. He obsessively paints her, and they do stay together for about 7 years, during which time he is unfaithful constantly, all of the time. He's even unfaithful to the people he's being unfaithful with. And it's a very violent relationship as well. He's very cruel, he's very controlling, he locks her in the house and won't let her out. There's a really ugly episode in 1907 when, because Fernande can't have children of her own, they go to a local orphanage and adopt a 13-year-old girl called Raymond, only to have to return Raymond to the orphanage a few months later after Fernande caught Picasso sketching indecent images of her. Anyway, Picasso soon tires of Fernande and takes up with this woman, Eva Gould, and of course Picasso is cheating on her the whole time as well, and she gets tuberculosis and dies in 1916. He's even sneaking out to visit other lovers while she's on her deathbed. And after she dies, he consoles himself with a string of other lovers until he meets this person, Olga Kuklova, who he actually persuades to marry him in 1918. The marriage is violent and controlling, and he's cheating the whole time. They do have a son together, Pablo. And as you might expect, her mental health starts to deteriorate. Oh, and he's having an affair with 17-year-old Marie Theresa. And he managed to keep this relationship secret until 1935, probably because it was illegal. But in 1935, Marie Theresa gets pregnant. Olga, his wife, finds out and is distraught and runs away to the south of France. But Olga has some kind of mental breakdown and she becomes horrendously obsessed with Picasso to like stalker-like proportions. She sends him hate mail and she follows him all around Europe. But he won't divorce her because under French law, that would mean he had to give her half of everything he owned. And by this point, he was a rich man. But by 1936, Marie had found herself being upstaged by Dora Maar, a successful photographer in her own right, and at 29 years old, almost half Picasso's age. Picasso managed to keep both women on the go for a while, but it all came to a head when they bumped into one another and Picasso told them that they would need to fight it out and he would stay with whoever was the winner. But they did. They actually came to fist blows about this. Dora Maar was victorious, and so he kicked Marie Theresa and their daughter out. But don't worry, Picasso painted this, 2 birds in a cage, to commemorate that moment. And it sold at Christie's in 2004 for just over £1 million. Unable to live without him, Marie Theresa killed herself 4 years later. In 1943, Dora found out that Picasso was having an affair with this woman, 21-year-old Françoise Gillotte. Dora experienced a severe psychiatric collapse and never fully recovered. Francois and Picasso live in the south of France, but his wife, do you remember her? Olga, the one he wouldn't divorce, yeah, she decides to live really close to them, would often break into their home and attack Francois. He has 2 more children with Francois, Claude and Paloma. Even in the 1950s, by the time he's 70, he's still having affairs. Olga eventually dies of natural causes, which means he could have been free to have married Francois, but he doesn't. They break up, and Picasso decides he's going to use his considerable influence to try and sabotage her art career. He contacts art galleries and agents and basically blacklists her. All the while, he's shacked up with this woman, 26-year-old Jacqueline Roque. He did marry her in 1961, but he was constantly having affairs and constantly playing away, and it was a violent relationship. Picasso is getting frailer and frailer. Jacqueline starts to become more and more controlling and eventually keeps his family away from him. When Picasso died in 1973, Jacqueline wouldn't let his children and grandchildren attend the funeral. In response, Picasso's grandson, Pablito, killed himself, and his son, Paulo, sank into a terrible depression and eventually died of alcoholism. Jacqueline became severely mentally unwell after Picasso's death. For years after, she would lock herself in dark rooms and talk to photographs of him. Eventually, she killed herself as well. She shot herself with Picasso's gun. His granddaughter, Marina, said that he crushed women into his canvas, and once they were bled dry, he would dispose of them. His lover, Dora Maar, once told Picasso, "You might be an extraordinary artist, but morally speaking, you are worthless." And there you go, Pablo Picasso. What a twat. But the pictures are nice. The pictures are nice.
It's a monster.
Crazy.
He was a monster.
He was a total monster, and if you look at some of his artwork, you can see a lot of demonic symbolism in his art. Let me give you. I mean, I never was a Picasso person. I was more of Monet. I was talking about that with my husband tonight because he thought it was a little weird that we were covering it because he doesn't know who Marina Abramovich is. These are just some of his words. Look at how demented. There's like almost, I don't know, something got into him. Just like Marina Abramovich.
So,
and I think that he was hired back then to become who he was, because he was a spirit cooker for that generation, and Marina's a spirit cooker for this generation. I mean, look at how famous she is, and not famous for any good reason. She's.
So you think that is the Mandela effect that we all thought he died long ago?
That I don't know, but I'm, putting together, because like, look at Marina. Okay, here's some shit on Marina.
Lived in both times, maybe, or has never gone away, maybe.
Definitely a Mandela effect. Definitely. Because I could have sworn he was 1700s or something.
Okay, so here's how Marina got started, and she and this is another thing, guys. Picasso died in 1973, and she came out with her weird stuff in the public in 1974. Okay, what's the odds?
I didn't think I was alive when Picasso was alive, to be honest with you.
To do a performance that would shock the world. Known as Rhythm Zero, Abramovich invited participants to do anything they desired to her for 6 hours using 72 objects, including scissors, a whip, and even a loaded gun. Everything started out calmly, but soon things started to heat up. As in the 3rd hour, all of her garments were cut off by a man with a sharp blade. This was just the beginning, as within the next hour her throat was slit so that her blood could be sucked. Her body was subjected to a number of small sexual attacks.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and then she goes on and does all these weird art exhibitions. And in Ukraine, prior to the wall, they did the Wall of Tears or something with all those big pieces of crystals that were sticking out of the wall. You guys, she picked off where Pablo left off. Nothing stopped. These guys keep doing what they're doing. It's just they change players. And Marina's the player right now. But yeah, Pablo, man. And to think his artwork, no, that's wrong. It's just wrong. Okay, I'll shut up now. That was my whole thing. Oh, and he did do a famous painting about his cat. So, and he probably signed the painting in in blood too.
Didn't you say he signed everything in blood?
Yes.
Cat feces.
That was from the memoir of his granddaughter.
Huh.
Yeah. I know, Al. I'm feeling a little depressed now too.
Yeah,
you should look up something called BCI. It's called Brain Control Interface, and it's something that they say that the AI that they've been working on with this it may have had a part in some of this Mandela stuff. And there's 2 YouTube videos about it that they're going to use to get nano chips into everybody's minds, swabs and the ends of needles, whether it's tests or blood tests or anything, or whether it's injections, because they're going to use it for good. But it was done on the 11th of this month, 2 interviews, and it's a company that's connected to some people that like to do these nano things, and they talked about it. They talked about it, all that Mandela stuff.
Oh yeah, and then I watched a lecture given from a general, but it was probably 1998, or I'd say mid 90s, and he was talking about you don't even know what we have, what they have.
Mm-hmm.
They can go from here to Hong Kong in a matter of 10 seconds.
Teleporting like.
There you go.
Beam me up, Scotty.
There you go. Same thing. That's what I go to is Star Trek. Walking in the tube. Got your little handheld deal, or your little bracelet, or maybe now it's going to be an implant.
It's little particles just sent across the sky, little particles, then reassembled when you get to the other side.
Well, it is kind of weird. Things have changed, and we've noticed it. Mandela effects. We've not.
There's a bunch of them.
I really did think that Pablo Picasso was,
Did you think you were alive when he was alive?
No, I would never have thought
No.
I would have been alive. No, I wasn't that old, but it just the fact that
same, but
and then for her to just kind of come out of nowhere, kind of like a Kevin Hart as a comedian, like they just kind of pop out of nowhere and they're big, makes sense. But.
Hey, so Pootie, I heard a governor's mansion caught on fire.
It was a Pennsylvania governor.
Is your name Pootie? Sorry, kid. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, that's good. Where's Pootie at?
Making a sandwich.
Pootie.
Pootie.
He got his hand stuck and he's trying to get the pickle. Pickle was in the bottom of the jar. He got his hand stuck and can't get back. Hey, we'd like to say hello to Buffering, who's on X right now. Good to see you, Buff. And
anyways, whose mansion got caught on fire?
It was
Governor Shapiro? No.
No, yeah,
Somebody
Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania, and they all got out. So, and
what?
And they have the suspect in custody.
Oh, they do?
Isn't this guy suspected of something else? What happened in Pennsylvania?
Oh,
was he suspected of being tied with that?
Well,
yeah, was that with Zeldin?
Butler, Pennsylvania.
No, there was one where this kid just took out his parents to lunch and then had a manifesto to take out our sitting president. And he got arrested too.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the Menendez brothers. Remember them guys?
Yeah, they killed their parents or something, right?
Yeah. They're looking at so Cola has a little bit of an update on that because they're getting another chance to get out, Jay.
Yeah, because he found out it came out. They made it up now because it's everywhere right now.
Do you have an intro for her?
Yeah, we do. Hold on.
Totally found out that the dad was butt fucking both.
So one of the things that they said the reasoning was like because when they did commit those murders, they were under 26 years old, and there's something about being, being able to be rehabilitated because they've been in jail for like 30 some years now, and that's the one she's pulling up now. This is the Menendez brothers' lawyer talking about their day in court, which was Friday, about which the next court date will be Thursday, to decide if they change their sentencing, which could potentially open the jail doors for them. But yeah, we can let him tell us.
Actually, kind of are inviting. They've got a 3D quality to them. They are designing, and they've raised the money to do it. They are designing a space that helps people actually reacclimate. Because whether you want to warehouse people, which is what they used to say in the 90s, whether you want retribution, at some point, some figure of prisoners are going to be released. Well, when they get released, you want them to reacclimate. You don't want a revolving door. And that's what Lyle and Eric have been working on through hospice programs, through
suicide prevention.
Suicide prevention. You've talked to them, you know that.
No, I know. But look, here's the thing. I've spent some time talking to them. They are two very compelling men. So if this is about rehabilitation, it seems to me that you want the judge to hear them,
That's pretty much the end there. So that's one of the things. I don't know if he doesn't go much more into it, but they're like role model inmates. They're doing all these wonderful things. It's like a lot that they're doing to be helpful, and they doing it without any chance of getting out. Like they didn't think there was a chance of getting out when they were doing it. But there should be like one more with him, that lawyer. I'm not
Good.
sure.
Can anybody hear me?
I hear you.
Yes.
Now we do.
Okay.
Yeah, now we do.
I just watched the thing on there about that. It said that Gascon they could have brought that case 8 months ago, but he wait to save it to get him reelected.
Yeah, they say there's a political aspect for sure.
Yeah.
But is 10 gone? Oh, there's
No,
like one
I'm
more, but I don't even remember what at this point.
Okay, so here's the second one that you had.
It's the
right?
same lawyer, yeah, talking about it some more.
Okay. See if it runs any better. I don't know why it's lagging so much.
I've told you this before for trial. I never make a decision on whether to put the client on the stand until I've seen how everything goes. I know right now that I'm going to put family members on the stand. I know right now I'll put correctional officers on the stand. I know right now I may put behavioral scientists on the stand. But other than that, I haven't made a decision yet.
Are you going to put X the Rapper on the stand?
It's an interesting choice because if I understand correctly, he's lived with, been in a prison with Eric.
For 18 years.
Prison with
18 years.
Yeah, and with Sirhan,
right?
Which is who the DA is fixated on.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much that.
Sirhan, isn't that?
Yeah. Wait.
So right, yeah.
Robert Kennedy? Was that Robert Kennedy? Or no? Am I wrong?
Yeah, he said that they're fixated on that aspect of it too. But yeah, there's a lot going on with this. If they really are, rehabilitated, I don't know. Virginia said, can they control their impulses? Well, that's the whole thing. Is they're the whole point of revisiting and trying to do the court date is, can they be rehabilitated? Can a person, they've been in there 30 years, and you have a clip also, 10, of Lyle Menendez speaking. Okay, this one here, this is their cousin speaking on behalf of Eric and Lyle that you've got here.
Stepped up to the podium. Of course, Garagos is the attorney representing the Menendez brothers.
In
This
about
is our first
5:18.
opportunity to hear from him. Let's listen in.
10. Okay, sorry, because it's a long video. Well, and about 5:10 is what, because this is the same lawyer we just heard from, and they're all happy because they had a good day in court. Their family was there to support him. There's no one speaking against him in his family, so that does say a lot as well. But yeah, this is going to be his cousin, which is also the niece of the deceased. Wow, that rhymed. the niece of their mother and father. Niece of the deceased.
He's a high-powered attorney too. This Garagos guy.
That was Michael Jackson's attorney, by the way.
It's speculated he might take on Diddy as well, but we don't know for sure. He wouldn't answer it directly, which I thought, well, that probably means yes. Okay, about 5:18, I think, ish. There she is.
All right.
And only to about 6:15, a real short. She just has a real.
Let's see if it'll.
Decades now, they've continuously shown their insight through their actions, not just their words. They've apologized to us repeatedly over the years and have exemplified growth and healing. They've lived with accountability every day, all while knowing that if they'd have all of that while never knowing they'd ever have a chance at release. They've supported.
Oh, wow. Now it's buffering.
Supported fellow inmates through grief and terminal illness. Their work isn't performative. It's purposeful. It's real. We look forward to a full, fair presentation of who Eric and Lyle are today, not just a version frozen in time, in a time of pain and fear, but the whole truth. The growth, the humanity, and the men they've become. We're not naive. We know hope can be fragile, but we believe that the law is on our side. And for today, that's enough. Thank you for being here.
So she's the niece, you said?
And their cousins. See, because there was a lot going on. There was, that same, their dad, Jose Menendez, was also accused of doing an essay on a guy named Roy Rosella, who was in a Menudo band, who was a young boy, just like they were young boys. It was The Secret. And the only other clip you've got, 10, is actually Lyle Menendez himself speaking behind bars. It's about a minute, and you don't have to play it if you don't want to. But when a lot of people have the biggest problem with that, they shot the mother too. And they say, well, the dad was doing this to you. Why'd you shoot the mother? And also it was pretty bad. They went to the car to get a gun and come back in to shoot her. Well, that's kind of him explaining that, saying that, she chose to look the other way. She was aware of what was happening and she wanted the lifestyle. So, like I said, if you want to, that's what that minute 22:53 to 23:30.
Load up.
Okay, that's all right. That's all it is. It's just him. So another interesting thing about this is that's their plan of action, is to have a court date on Thursday. And if they lower it to manslaughter instead of murder, they could just walk right out of that jail. But now, on top of that, if that doesn't work, Governor Gavin Newsom is weighing the option of granting them clemency. And they are scheduled to appear before the state parole board on June 13th to discuss the findings of a risk assessment that Governor Newsom himself ordered, examining whether they pose a danger to society. And depending on the results, he could grant clemency, could commute their sentences to make them eligible for parole, or he could just outright release them. So isn't it funny that we got a court case and we got Governor Newsom both at the same way or the other,
And then the Diddy case.
Now I'm saying this: when that case first came out many years ago.
Oh yeah, long time ago.
30-some years.
Not too long ago, there was something that came out about their case, and the Menendez brothers were could get off because they overcharged them because the state held evidence. So I'm trying to figure out right now, why are they all twisting this into they're good people and this and I understand they shot his parents because they're getting boofed in the ass by their dad.
Yeah. The video I watched said they caught them lying a whole bunch of times when they testifying too.
That's what I'm saying. This isn't about, now I'm wondering how they're twisting this around right now, and it's a whole different fucking story.
There was a documentary, and
the reason they're going to get out is because they're good in prisoners or whatever.
Right.
Something doesn't, it's past the smell test for me.
There's some kind of file they have on prisoners, like a CPAC or some kind of name for it, and they have like an exemplary, like one of the best ever. They're like making programs for, like they said, for hospice, and they're just role model inmates, they say. And I mean, it's definitely split, but when that documentary came out, there was a new interest in it. There was a new generation who had sympathy, and it brought attention. Like, I think this stuff has a lot to do with that Netflix documentary that came out just a little bit.
I think I'll bet you if you went back to all the murderers and cases and people we've executed and people who have died and who are incarcerated, I'll bet you half of them were being abused.
Yeah.
Well, so what now they're just trying to move this to They're great people now. They're all rehabilitated. You know, they're ready to get married, have kids, a white picket fence house. No, there's more to this shit.
I also find it interesting that there's two things going on at the same time. Like there was a big push to get them out. You got this to change the fencing, but you also have Gavin Newsom over here asking them to appear before the state parole board. It's like one way or the other, we're getting these guys out. It's just kind of strange. But
and then the Diddy thing coming up next month.
And in one of these interviews I watched, because, you know, we only watch a small portion of a lot of information, they actually asked him because supposedly Diddy has been using this lawyer's name, saying he's going to have him. What are you cracking up on, Craig?
Virginia Roots' comments. sorry.
Now you always look.
Sorry, Virginia.
Well, so next week then, or this week?
Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
Okay, Thursday. Wow. Well, I guess we'll find out this week, you guys, and we'll talk about it on Sunday.
Wait, it is Sunday, right? Shoot, am I losing?
No, Tuesday.
Okay. I was just making sure. I thought it was for a minute. I was like, oh, shoot, is it Tuesday?
It'll be next Sunday, right?
I guess.
Next Sunday, maybe.
Sunday.
No, I do. I don't know.
Sunday.
I'm with Zed, man. OJ did it, and is great for breakfast.
Let Suge free. We talk about Suge Knight buffering.
Suge Knight might be actually normal now. Looking at everything, he may have been the good guy in the story.
Right?
That ain't crazy. You know?
Lisa Starry said they didn't allow the essay in the first trial, and I think there was something about that too. Yeah, I'll tell you, if you can watch them sit when that boy sits on the when he's testifying and he starts crying, describing it, and then says that he did it to his brother also, and then he looks up and he says, "I'm sorry," because he's realizing that he did it too because he was just a child. If you can look at that and think he's lying, he should just go ahead and be an actor, because that was horrifying to watch. Because right in the middle, he gets choked up. He looks up. He's like, yeah, I did the same thing my dad did to me, to my brother. And it was like objects. It was gross details. And it's like, I don't know. I believed that was true. But they could be great actors. I don't know.
But his family, they were a powerful family. So they probably
covered it up.
Yeah. With all the other, things that go on in California yeah.
Well, that's what they said. The mother. That's why because she allowed it because she wanted to afford her lifestyle, and she just looked the other way. She didn't care. Supposedly, I could not imagine anything being worth something like that happening to your children. There's no amount of money that should be enough money to be like, yeah, sure, hurt my children. Like, it's nuts. I could see being upset about that.
But it's part of that secret underground society, those terrible people that they're not like us.
There's a price to pay. You're gonna have to pay the price.
Right. Well, thank you, Cola. That was
very intriguing.
Wow. A lot of dark stuff tonight, you guys.
Yeah, really depressed. Hey everybody, thank y'all for joining us for this wonderful therapy session gone wrong.
This thing turned around, huh?
They make pills for this. No, but we really thank y'all for being here. We couldn't do it without having y'all, and this time with everybody is very special to us. So thank you all for being here, and remember to leave us a comment, because that triggers our endorphins.
Ooh.
Hey, Craig, how about
is gone? I wanted to hear his story about Lori. I was ready for it.
Oh, damn it. Yorga had a story
about Lori.
Could you do a prayer out for us at Hit Gal tonight?
Sure.
Boy.
Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us through to another week, through even bringing us through some tragedies, near misses, or anything that's going on in our lives with our animals, with our family. with the world and with our leaders, Lord. If you could just guide us and give us a leader like Moses, like we've had in the past, that could take some of these pharaohs down and teach them a lesson, Lord, and just teach us what it's like to really escape and feel the freedom, even though knowing that when we go, we're going to have to wander around a little bit because we're going to have to find our way in the new world that we might have coming towards us. I thank you for the blessing of knowing Shift Kicker, and that she always said check on our neighbors. And Lord, we really need to now, because a lot of people are depressed and a lot is going on. And I thank you for your watch care. Amen.
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 Thank you.
And shout out to the chat. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. And we'll see you on Tuesday, right, guys? Tuesday. And Yorga, come back. We love you. Where's the outro?
Yeah, Yorga.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize